Today we'll start one of the most important topics for the EMRS PGT examination. So हम लोग romantic age के बारे में देखेंगे और the most important figures of romantic age that we will discuss slowly. So in this video today we'll see the significance of romantic period as well as one of the most important romantic periods poet that is William Blake. So you will learn it. So let's begin. As we all know that the Romantic age generally it belongs to an age where there is a literary terms, the literary forms have been absolutely changed, and it begins generally in 1798 and lasts up to 1837. And in some books, 18 in some books, it is written there that 1850 also, but that is not a matter. But 1837 is also considered as the end of the Romantic period. Why? Because Queen Victoria, she accessed the throne of Britain. So from that particular time is considered the end of Romantic period. Now, what are the significance of Romantic period? And especially we will see which are important for our examination. So let's see that. So Romanticism is the name of dominant movement in English literature. We know that whatever the English literature period is there, Romantic age is considered the most dominant era of English literature, right? And as I said, in many books it is written that 1850, right? And 1837 also. Okay. So the main feature of this age is what? Self-expression and individual feeling. It emphasizes the truth of imagination rather than the scientific truth. We know that before Romantic age, there was New Classical age, where the literary forms, literary terms, and there was certain kind of particular literary characteristics have been followed strictly. But if we see in Romantic periods, so everything, all kinds of trends of literary terms and literary writing styles have not been followed. Rather, in this particular period, what happens that they, especially, they were, individual liberty and individual liberty of writing has been maintained in that particular thing. So let's see that. Thomas Chatterton is considered the first romantic poet in English. That question sometimes asks. So, who is considered the first romantic poet in English? It is Thomas Chatterton. Remember it. Now we know that the publisher of lyrical ballads begins with the publisher of lyrical ballads. A romantic period begins. That is 1798, right? So that particular publisher of publishing date of 1798 of lyrical ballads is very important for the examination. Now, the books that make the beginning of the Romantic movement, that is lyrical ballads, and lyrical ballads produced jointly by whom? Wordsworth and Coleridge. This is the most important point. Wordsworth and Coleridge, both they have written that particular particular literary piece, that is lyrical ballads, and it is published in 1798. And another important fact about lyrical ballads is that first, that the lyrical ballads it begins with or it opens with Coleridge's poem, that is Rime of the Ancient Mariner. So question asked many times in many examinations it is asked, that is lyrical ballads begins with which poem or who has written the beginning poem of the lyrical ballads. So that is Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Coleridge, and it ends with Wordsworth Tintern Abbey. So this is a very important fact we must remember. A lyrical ballad, how many poems are there? There are 23 poems are there. Okay. And out of 23, four poems are written by Coleridge and rest of the 19th poem have been contributed by Wordsworth. So this is also a very important fact. So total 23 poems were there, and out of 23, four poems are written by Coleridge, and 19 poems have been contributed by Wordsworth. And there are some quotes and comments has been made by some other figures. There is Victor Hugo who said that Romanticism as a liberalism in literature. So who said that Romanticism is a liberalism in literature? That is Victor Hugo. And Goethe said that Romanticism is disease, classicism is health. So he criticized the Romantic period. So who criticized Romantic period? Goethe, who says that Romanticism is disease and classicism is health. And in opposition, Victor Hugo said that Romanticism is liberalism in literature. So some of the important literary figure of the Romantic period, we know that Coleridge, Byron, Shelley, Keats, Scott, and so they are known. So they have been given some of the name for it. Like Wordsworth is known for poet of nature. Then Coleridge is known for supernatural poet. We know that ancient mariner. Then Byron as a poet of humanism. That question asked in many questions I personally experienced. Then who is known as the poet of humanism? That is Byron. Then Shelley is known for poet of love. Similarly, Keats is known as poet of beauty. Scott as known of poet of medieval love. Now, romantic periods are divided into two major groups. That also we must remember. One is first generation romantic group and second generation romantic group. The first generation romantic group, the poets are William Blake, then Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Sade, and second generation romantic period Byron, Shelley, and Keats. Now, though it is not important, much important for our examination, what are the differences between first generation romantic age poets and second generation romantic age poets? So, for information, just remember that the first generation romantic poets means actually uh, they experienced the French Revolution, and while the French Revolution was going on, and the Battle of Bastille. So at that time, they have experienced the ongoing war situation, and they wrote from there. They have been inspired by that particular by the French Revolution. And second generation romantic poets like Byron, Shelley, and Keats, by the time they started writing, this war has finished, right? The war has finished, and there was they have been in a situation where the war had already ended, and after that they started writing. So there is a general basic difference. Apart from that, it is believed that their backgrounds is also different, like Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Southey. They belong to different backgrounds, and Byron, Shelley, Keats, they belong to different backgrounds, right? So this is what. Now, today in this video, we will see some of the important facts of William Blake, right? And in the second part of that video, we will see the details of William Blake's poems, right? So in that video, we will just have an introduction about William Blake. So we know that William Blake's tenure, if you see, there is 1757 to 1827, and he is known for the visual arts of Romantic age. So who is known for visual arts of Romantic age? That is William Blake. The 19th century scholar William Rossetti characterized him as a glorious luminary. Please do remember it, glorious luminary. William Blake is considered by Rossetti, that is, glorious luminary, a collection of his verse and prose collected in poetical sketch. That is, the poetical sketch. This is the first work which has been printed of William Blake, and uh, and that was published by one of his friends in 1783. And also, though we know that William Blake is known for his poems, he also has written a satire. The name of the satire is An Island in the Moon, right? And he published his most popular Songs of Innocence in 1789 and Songs of Experience in 1794. And H.T. Coleridge was lent a copy of Songs of Innocence and Experience, considered him man of genius. So that question asks, so who has called William Blake the man of genius? That is H.T. Coleridge. Or who has been referred as man of genius? That is William Blake. By whom? H.T. Coleridge. So his most known work is creative art is illustrations of the Book of Job and a symbolic work Jerusalem. So you will see some the important major works of William Blake. We must know the important works of William Blake. What are the important works of William Blake? Let's see that. Like all religions are one, America a prophecy, Europe a prophecy, for children the gates of paradise, for the sexes the gates of paradise, poetical sketches, which is very important. Then Songs of Innocence, the most important remarkable work of William Blake, that is Songs of Innocence, published in 1798. After that, Songs of Experience, right? And followed off another book which is also important, that is the Book of Ahania, that is 1795. And in the same year, the Book of Laws also published. The first book of Urizen, 1794, The Marriage of Hell and Heaven. So this is also a very important, significant work of William Blake, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell. Then illustrations of the Book of Job, Jerusalem, prophetic book. You remember it? So this is a prophetic book. Prophetic book means it's a prophetic. Prophet, you know that? Prophet means where the words of gods have been translated or have been told or have been disseminated. That is called Jerusalem. Uh, the Vision of the Daughters of Albion, prophetic book, second parts. The Milton, a poem, prophetic book again. The Chimney Sweeper. You remember the Chimney Sweeper? That is also, it is a poem. Chimney Sweeper, it's a poem. And we know that our Charles Lamb also has written in the name of Chimney Sweeper. There is a short story, and here it's a poem written by William Blake, right? So next is the Book of Thel, Will or Wish. Then Songs of Innocence and Experience. This compiled 1789. So here, as we know that songs of innocence and experience are the most important works of William Blake. So innocence and experience are definitions of consciousness that rethink Milton's existential mythic states of paradise and the fall. And in the title, he contrary. There is a contradiction. Contradiction of what? Contradiction of in innocence, infant joy, correct? And in experience, infant sorrow. This is the contradiction. Another contradiction is in innocence, the lamb is referred, and in experience, the fly and tiger is referred. So that these points you have to remember it. In innocence, what does it refer? It refers infant joy. In experience, what does it refer? It refers infant sorrow. This is the contradiction. In another hand, what is referred here? The lamb as an innocence, and in experience, the fly and the tiger, they are considered as experience. Now, if you see Songs of Innocence, we know that it's a complete work of Blake, which has been published in 1789. And in that collection of poems, there are total 19 poems are there. Okay, the question asks, how many poems are there in Songs of Innocence? There are total 19 poems are there. And what does it actually show in that particular collection of poems? So, Songs of Innocence is more lays a child's world which is full of simplicity, purity, happiness. As we already discussed, that Songs of Innocence is nothing but it shows innocence, right? Infant joy. Infant joy in the sense the child's world, simplicity, where there is an existence of simplicity, purity, and happiness, where the adult world is absolutely misery and sufferings, right? So we'll see the poem's name of which are there in Songs of Innocence. The first poem of Songs of Innocence is Introduction, that we have to remember it, and where in that poem Blake himself considered as a shepherd with a pipe. Okay, so in his poem Introduction, the Blake himself considered as a shepherd. So the poems of Songs of Innocence, introduction, first introduction, then the shepherd, the echoing green, the lamb, the little black boy, the blossom, the chimney sweeper, the little boy lost, the little boy found, laughing song, a cradle song, a divine image, holy Thursday, night, spring, nurse song, infant joy, a dream, uh, on another sorrow. Yeah, one thing I'll tell you, in earlier also, when you just saw that the important works of William Blake, we saw that there is a poem called The Chimney Sweeper. So, actually, in the name of Chimney Sweeper, William Blake has written two poems, right? That particular chimney sweeper is different, and that particular chimney sweeper is different. That we must remember it. So, how many in the same name he has written two poems, chimney sweeper, right? So one chimney sweeper he has written separately, another chimney sweeper that is a collection that is has been included in Songs of Innocence, right? Next is Songs of Experience, which has been published in 1794. It is a poetry collection of 26 poems. So in how many poems are there in Songs of Experience? There are 26 poems are there. And let's see what are the important poems are there in that particular collection of poems. There is first introduction, the art's answer, the clod and the pebble, Holy Thursday, the little girl lost, the little girl found the chimney sweeper, again the chimney sweeper, the nurse songs, sick rose, the fly, the angel, the tiger, my pretty rose tree, a sunflower, the lily, the garden of love, the little vagabonds. This is a very important poem. Please read the poem at least once. The Little Vagabonds, then London, the human abstract, infant sorrow, a poison tree, and in that particular poem, in this poem, the Blake's anger grows and becomes an apple. Remember it, in that particular tree, Blake's anger grows and he becomes a tree. In that particular poem, it has been displayed. A little boy lost, a little girl lost. So, to teach the schoolboy the voice of ancient, but the vision of daughters Albion. So these are the 26 poems which have been included in in Songs of Experience. So we will see up to here today, and we will not go further. In the next second part of the video, you will see the most important poems of William Blake and its explanation and important question as well. So thank you. Have a good day. Please do like and share the video.